I've had honey many times. I've had honey from a honey box. I've had honey from a tree, but this is the hardest I've seen anybody ever work for dessert. Not just dessert, a dessert that gives you a little bit extra, a little bit of a buzz.
Nepal. Our journey begins in its frenetic capital, Kathmandu. Once here, making your way through the city's enigmatic enclaves will convince you you've walked back in time. Endless temples, ancient traditions, religious relics. At every turn, you're reminded of an ancient time that's still clinging to life. Most who come here are drawn to the Himalayas, hoping these mountains will heal their soul. Me, I came here for the food.
This is what brings all the dish together right here. The raw blood, it's kind of combining all the flavors. It's the glue, it's the bonding agent, it's the alcohol at the party. Oh, is that one for me? All right. Thank you.
Nepal is a country of about 30 million. This narrow nation is jammed between two superpowers, with India to the south and Tibet to the north.
Nepali people, who do they like more, China or India?
It's like asking if you like your mommy or your daddy.
Oh, wow.
Its cuisine is a reflection of influences from both.
This is Tibetan Nepali fusion.
From their national dish, dal bhat, eaten nearly daily and always by hand.
Oh my God, this is the biggest bite I've ever seen in my life.
To the country's iconic momo.
It has been inspired from Tibet, but it is a Nepali version of dumplings.
Filled with chicken, or even better, buffalo.
What do you think? It's perfect. Oh, thank you so much.
Nepali cultures, people, and food are as diverse as its geography. From the lowlands, to the hills, to the Himalayas. And I'm here to see it all.
I slept in this jacket last night. How cold can it get?
It could go around maybe -14.
Which in Fahrenheit is really cold.
Like the Musahar, low ranking in their slowly fading caste system.
Do the feelings from the old caste system still exist now?
Their name means rat eaters, and soon you'll find out why.
I am buying this community a pig so I can see how they prepare it. But they're also going to be providing me with one of their local delicacies, rat curry.
There are the Nuar people who worship at the red dyed feet of young girls.
We need to put some money when we get the tikka.
Is Vietnamese okay?
And who possess a culinary identity completely separate from mainstream Nepal.
Most of the dishes in Newari, you always add up hot oil. It is considered that nobody touches it. Now it's ready to eat.
That's the biggest plate of steak tartare I've ever seen in my life. They don't have shoes on. They don't wear gloves. They have just normal clothes. Some of them have coveralls on. Of course, they wear the bee hat, but that's it.
The Gurung people, hill tribes who risk their lives collecting a rare hallucinogenic honey that could get you high or much, much worse.
How old were you when you first tried the mad honey?
When he was like 25 years old.
How did it make you feel?
I'm fall down. Yeah.
You fell down?
Yeah.
You couldn't walk?
Yeah.
For how long?
24 hours.
Oh, Jesus.
High in the mountains, at over 10,000 feet of elevation, you'll find Pisong village, where a fresh kill quickly becomes a steaming drink.
They can get access to different medical herbs that can benefit you, like it increases your immune system.
Okay, what about erectile dysfunction? Not that I need that.
And where villagers turn deep red yak meat into 5-star food.
Oh, that is beautiful. That's a long sausage.
Like a snake.
In this series, I'm on a mission to experience the widespread wonder that is Nepal.
It's like a ritual or a prayer that they have to do before they slaughter the animal. Now that it's finished, we can have a sip and the slaughter can begin.
From its bustling capital,
How do you even eat this? This is awesome. Should we go for it?
Yeah.
All right.
to its towering mountaintops.
This is really hard. You could beat your husband with this. Maybe not.
In the end, I may not find myself, but I will find some damn good food. It all starts here.
Welcome to Kathmandu. Today we are in Nepal and this is Sarita.
Sarita. Sarita.
Sarita.
Yeah.
All right. I'm so sorry. Did I say it wrong? I thought I said Sarita. This is the tiniest commercial kitchen I've ever seen for a restaurant. It's her with a handful of burners and then piles of delicious food inside. The seasonings, the smells in here are insane. Right now she's preparing something called dal bhat.
More than just a national dish, dal bhat is a perfect way to fuel up for a cold Nepali day. In its most simple form, you'll find rice and lentil curry, but the sides can be nearly endless. Here, Sarita is cooking up stir-fried veggies. Add fenugreek seeds, onion, and green chilies in a hot, oily pan. Then potato, turmeric powder, squash, beans, salt, and a list of flavorsome Nepali spices. For a bit of protein, we've got chicken curry. It starts with onion, green chilies, turmeric powder, and bay leaves in hot oil. Then the chicken, cooked lightly before flavoring it with ginger garlic paste, cumin powder, coriander powder, salt, garam masala, tomato paste, coriander, and finally spring onion. She whips up her mutton curry the same way. Pick your protein, plate, serve, and eat.
You have to use a hand to get the real taste.
I haven't washed my hand for 3 days. Is that okay?
No, that's not okay.
Okay, well, let's see what happens. I noticed there's an emphasis on rice.
It's all about the rice. To make it easier for you to eat more rice, you pair it with different kind of vegetables and then the meat.
Oh my God, that is the biggest bite I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, here we go.
Take some chutney.
With my fingers, it's a liquid. Oh wow, it's really hot and sour. Everything else is very savory, a huge blend of spices. I got a big, beautiful piece of mutton right here.
If you have bone, then you gotta take it apart by using your teeth.
Never this hand.
That's for something else.
That's for naughty time.
Yeah.
I really taste the turmeric coming through. The meats are just so delicious. The way they're cooked, the seasonings really permeates into the meat. You can like feel it as you're eating it, like the masala squeezing out.
Try the lentil.
It's like a split pea soup. No chunks, just very smooth. Chicken's also very good. Pretty much the same, just a slightly different texture.
Yeah.
We gotta do a hand check. Look at her hand.
Joining us today, Manjita,
I gotta say, we're about the same. Oh, I think I did better than you.
full-time student and part-time eater, showcasing the best food her country has to offer.
The first time I ever tried Nepali food was actually in Texas, in the USA, and it was delicious. But the thing is, the restaurant could not advertise that they had Nepali food. They had to advertise that they had, can you guess?
Indian food?
That's right, because they would say it was similar enough, but also India's so huge, people just know it more. How would you compare food here with food in India?
It's totally different.
What separates Nepali cuisine from its neighbors in the south is in the details.
We don't use much butter.
Like ghee.
Yeah, ghee. And the herbs and spices are also different from there. The way they cook, the timing, and the masala that we use here. Did you just steal my...
Yeah, you're not eating fast enough.
You just stole my food!
Yeah, you're a great storyteller.
Folks here prefer rice, while Indians use a lot of flatbread. There are also dishes that distinguish Nepal from any other place.
For breakfast, we have donut and tea. Yeah, that's something different. And then for lunch, we usually have momos. It's fast. Whenever we're hungry, we'll find every other momo shop behind every corner.
Mo means steam, and momo is what you call the steamed Nepali dumpling, an iconic dish enjoyed by every stratum of the population.
Namaste. Namaste. We've come to the very chill Momo's making room. Did we overload the generator?
No.
Oh, the electricity cut. How often does that happen?
Unexpected daily power outages are not uncommon here in the capital, due to decades-old infrastructure that's continuously trying to catch up to demand. At times, power cuts might last half a day, but still, you'll hardly see people flinch. Whether it's bright or not, there's work to be done.
We have someone right here rolling out the wrapper. The wrapper is just made of flour and water. This is a fascinating rolling pin. Can I see this real quick? Can I take a look at this? I'm not sure if this is from the rolling pin store or if it's just been kind of reused. Very heavy. It just takes her one roll and then she's got it flat and ready to go. Is it perfect?
No.
All right.
The filling is made from a mixture of blended onions, ginger paste, masala, turmeric powder, Nepali hog plum, sesame seeds, and protein, either ground chicken or ground buffalo.
Each dumpling they have here has a little bit different shape. These with the buffalo are a bit more circular and then kind of twisted at the top, but the ones that are filled with chicken have a more of a crescent shape. Mine's more like a jalapeno popper. It's beautiful. They're literally making hundreds, I would guess thousands, because they sit at this table for hours making these. Put them on the trays, and the trays go into a waiting area until they're ready to go onto the steamer. Hi.
Hi.
When I think this type of dumpling, it reminds me of East Asia. Like we have something here where it feels like the structure of a East Asian food mixed with the spices of South Asia.
Yes.
Do we just eat it like this?
No, you gotta take the soup.
Oh my God, you smother it.
This is made from sesame seed, peanuts, and then hog plum. So it's sour, it's salty. Now you take the hot sauce.
Sorry, just like immediately salivating. My mouth is watering. There's so much sauce on it. Let's go for it.
Take more soup.
Oh yeah, the soup is so awesome. It's so peanutty. You can taste the sesame seeds in there too.
You see a lot of people coming here and just ordering a plate of momo and drinking this.
Right.
A lot of it.
Rich, delicious, and full of spices. It's a great combination. The wrapper of this dumpling is so chewy, but then there's like a big greasy piece of meat inside, like a little meatball. Is buffalo a pretty common protein?
Yes.
In this Hindu majority country, you're not going to find many beef options. According to the Hindu faith, cows are to be revered. But buffalo, well, they're fair game, and their meat is nearly indistinguishable from the usual ox beef.
We've got like anything you name it, and then they have a buff meat addition to those dishes. The people here also love the buff momos a lot more than any other momo here.
So who's the chicken for?
There are a part of the population, they do not eat buff because buffalo is the god.
Wait, Hindu folks believe buffalo is also God.
Yes.
I've never heard that before. Chicken's good too, but I gotta say, if I had to choose one, buffalo all day. I'm confused. It is like 3:30 p.m. This place is packed.
Yes.
Is this a snack? Is this dinner? What's going on here?
This is a snack.
People take snack time here really seriously.
Yes.
This is called latte. It's not your typical midday snack. In fact, it's a rather brilliant, affordable culinary innovation. A tangy, spicy cold noodle that'll satisfy even the most hard to pin down craving. And you can find it here at Kawa Karpo Noodle Factory.
This dish is originated from Tibet itself. So this is made from all-purpose flour, and they put a lot of water there and they keep on kneading, so the starch and the gluten separates. The starch part is steamed and you get this jelly-like thing.
Where's the flavor coming from?
At first she takes the pancake-like structure on the plate, and then she puts a lot of chili oil and salt and MSG. After that she puts on this, the gluten part of the all-purpose flour, and then you can put peanuts or raw noodles.
Let's try it out.
Cheers.
Oh yeah. First thoughts, it's overwhelmingly salty. I don't know if it's MSG, salt, or what, but that is a lot of salt. The textures are awesome because it reminds me of like a banh pha, or like a big flat Vietnamese noodle. So it has a similar texture to that, but then inside you have all these great crunchy bits. That piece is better. I think my first piece was just loaded with salt. It seems like a combination of Tibetan techniques with some of the local flavor. Not so different from the momo.
Yeah.
Are there a lot of Tibetan restaurants in Kathmandu?
So you usually find Tibetan restaurants around both the stupa.
For decades, Nepal was the main station on an underground railroad, offering refuge to Tibetans fleeing the Chinese as their land was invaded.
The owner here, is she Tibetan?
Yes, you can tell that by seeing the picture that she has hung right there.
The Dalai Lama.
Yeah.
Do the Hindu folks and the Buddhist folks get along?
Yeah, they do. We do not care about all these religion, and we don't separate people by that.
Newly arrived immigrants brought with them the recipes, enriching the Nepalese foodscape. These days, Nepali cuisine has been greatly influenced by Tibet's distinct flavors and recipes, like our next noodle dish, thukpa, Tibetan in origin, but even more flavorful and much more spicy.
Right now we are in a kitchen which is basically its own tiny noodle making factory. Here they're doing everything from taking flour, eggs, and water and making the dough to kneading the noodles and then cutting those into the noodles you see right here. She's hanging the noodles right now. Can I have those? Yeah, thank you. Take a look at these noodles. You know, it's not like a lot of the noodles I see in Southeast Asia, which are more rice-based. These are a flour-based noodle, but with plenty of eggs inside, but still not an egg noodle. This is a Tibetan noodle.
Cook the wheat noodles al dente, then assemble. But don't flavor the noodles, flavor the plate. First with green onions, a mixture of salt, MSG, and chili powder. Then jaja, a traditional Tibetan black bean sauce. Add garlic paste, the noodles, veggies, and finally top it up with minced buffalo meat.
This is enough for a small family.
You take this chili oil, put it in as much as you like.
But they already put spices on the bottom, right?
That's
Oh
not
my
enough.
God. Okay, I'm doing what you're doing.
Okay.
I'm gonna pay for it later, right?
Okay, yes.
Oh gosh. These noodles are so interesting because they've got so much body to them. Oh, yes. This is awesome. Oh.
Can you taste that the noodles literally really fresh?
Yeah, super slippery. It just slides right down your throat. It's almost like oily, slightly. The chili oil is powerful. Otherwise, it's just super savory. You can taste the beefiness of the buffalo. And then every once in a while, you find a vegetable. And you put it to the side, and then you keep eating.
No, I like it.
This was incredible, super filling. From here, we have one last location.
You may be familiar with the concept of slow and low Southern barbecue. Well, this ain't that. Here at Yangtaru Setgawa Corner, they've brought the concept of fast and blast, where protein meets a fiery inferno.
All right, guys, check it out. Welcome to our final location and to the coolest roasting contraption I've ever seen in my life. This thing is like a filing cabinet for meat. It's basically a huge fire pit that they've built up around the meat. And inside, oh my God, it's burning my legs. Inside there are 4 shelves and they slide the meat in.
This innovative barbecue technology actually goes way back. The restaurant owner was inspired by the fire roasting techniques of the Limbu people, an ethnic group native to Nepal.
All right, so whenever the meat's roasting, they close the door like this. When it's ready, they pull it open and they pull out the meat drawer and they're seeing how it's looking. They give it a shake. Is this mutton? Buffalo, pretty close. There's chicken, there's mutton, there's pork, but they really specialize in pork. That is what we're ordering today. Pork? Chicken, good, fantastic.
The meat is marinated with garlic, ginger, cardamom, lime, cloves, salt, and red pepper. Then it's barbecued, blasted with bursts of intense flames, caramelizing the outside of the meat. The meat master shuffles and moves the meat shelves almost constantly until they're ready.
Boom! How you doing?
Great.
I like this place.
Okay.
Good vibe.
This is a sekwa corner. People come here, they have the sekwa. In English, it's called barbecue.
I thought I was just gonna get pork, but then I got everything. We've got chicken wings, we have chicken gizzards, we have the pork here, we've got mutton, we've got buff.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, people eat pork here?
Yes.
This is a surprise to me. I know it's a Hindu country, but they largely don't eat pork there. Do you have any idea why?
No clue about it.
Me either, but you guys do here, and so I appreciate that. Hey, let me give a quick toast to pork. Here's to pork. I think we should try some chicken gizzard first.
You gotta take this and dip it in as well.
Oh, dip it in the chutney.
Yeah.
You can like taste the kiss of the flame. It is like perfectly fire roasted. What kind of chutney is this?
This is a tomato chutney.
It pairs very well with barbecued meats. Over here, that is pork belly. You can see the pork skin, the fat, the protein all together. Oh no. I've had pork belly in so many different countries, but never quite like this. The spices, the seasonings they're putting on there with that fire roasting technique, it's a completely different flavor experience. It's juicy, it's got a nice bite to it. It's not crunchy, it's more like dense, like chewy in a good way.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And the fatty section really explodes with flavor. It's interesting because it's so rich, like our last noodle meal, but I don't need anything to balance it out. Well, maybe this. Meanwhile, we have this right here. What am I looking at?
This is chatpate. You use puffed rice and then the onion, tomatoes, boiled potatoes, and you have chickpeas and then the peanuts. That's a lot of veggies and they squeeze lemon in it.
Oh.
So it's sour, it's spicy, it's salty.
Are you hiding meat in your cheek right now?
Yeah.
It's such a great pairing to all this meat, although it's still spicy.
Most of the dishes are spicy, you know?
Right. It's not like it's too spicy, it's like it's an abundance of spice. And I just need to build up my tolerance again.
Yeah.
So aside from the obviously delicious pork, they also have incredible mutton.
It's cooked perfectly.
A little smoky, juicy, and no bones. It's so convenient. This is buffalo.
You like it without the dip?
It's already so seasoned. People here love flavor so much that even though there's so many spices on here already, they're like, I need more spice. I want to ask you, do you wish more people knew about Nepal?
Yes, obviously. Because I don't think Nepal has got as much exposure as the other countries have, while Nepal has a lot of food and cultures to offer. They gotta come here to know what I'm talking about.
Nepal has been on my radar for a long time. A lot of people have commented on my videos saying that I have to come here, I have to see it for myself. I didn't know exactly what to expect of the food. I did try some Nepali food in Texas, but today has changed any preconceived notions I had. It's kind of just opened my mind to a whole new experience. There are similarities to other countries, but Nepali food definitely has an identity all its own.
Yes.
Nepal is home to over 1 million Newari, a people native to the Kathmandu Valley. In Newari tradition, young girls, often under 5 years old, are elevated to the status of goddess. Then they're worshipped for their special powers. Powers I'll soon discover.
I'm told the Kumari cannot walk. Why is that?
Now, I'm on a mission to experience unique, often unexpected Newari food.
Is this like a drinking food?
It is Newari food and liquor, it goes together.
Well, I go together with liquor too.
And I'll find out if being treated like a goddess at age 5 could damage you for life.
I was Kumari for almost 10 years. I think it was the life of a princess. I always say that.
And then once it all ends, how do you adjust to that?
Hidden behind this humble facade are some of the most beloved Newar dishes in town.
I'm excited to be here. It is cold, but this food is steaming hot.
Here, Newar-born Salesh introduces some of his favorites.
Which one should we start with?
I would say with chatamari. Actually, they also call it the Newari pizza.
That's a good way to sell it to Westerners.
Yeah.
Mustard oil and batter spread out on a flat pan to form the base of this Newar pizza. Carrots, cucumber, garlic cloves, tomato, coriander leaves, peas, and an egg create the vibrant toppings. Elevate the flavor with salt, pepper, sesame, and cumin powder. Then close the lid and let the heat finish the job.
Cheers.
Cheers. What do I do? It's huge.
Just take a bite.
I gotta eat my way to the inside because that's where all the flavors are. Oh, this rice batter is so interesting. It's so thick and bready, very dense. A perfect breakfast treat because it's very carby, but there's still the egg in the middle. Super flavorful. It's hot, and there's a load of cumin on here too, right?
Newar cuisine developed over centuries among the Newars of Kathmandu. It's not Nepali, it's not Indian, it's something all its own.
We don't put many spices. It's always with red chilies, cumin, but it gives you the right punch, right amount, I would say. This is our favorite. We all love bara.
Bada.
Yeah.
Bara kickstarts with a mustard oil glazing on a pan, then lentil batter spread out like a pancake. The chef tops it with an egg, garlic, tomato, a handful of scallions, coriander, and a pinch of cumin powder.
Put a lots of sauce.
It's a different experience completely from the other one. It's crispy and almost gritty a little bit because of that dal. It's a different type of texture, but very enjoyable. And that gravy is nice and savory, a little spicy, plenty of egg on there too.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good breakfast. I'm here today with you because I want to learn more about the Newari people.
Most Newars can be classified as both Hindu and Buddhist, as many of their practices collide. The most bizarre ritual of them all can be found here in the city of Patan.
My understanding of Hinduism is that there are thousands or even millions of
Yeah,
gods.
yeah.
And when I think of a god, I think of something kind of abstract, something maybe that could be depicted in a photo or in a statue. But today, we're going to meet a god.
Yeah.
Kumari, the living goddess, is a girl worshipped by Hindus and Buddhists in the belief that she is the reincarnation of Taleju, the patron goddess of Newar people. Today, in her honor, we will sacrifice an entire buffalo for a community feast, a feast she's not allowed to attend. I'll find out why soon.
If breakfast complete, we've come here, a very local slaughterhouse. On one side, they have the holding area where they have several live buffalo, and when the time comes, they take one at a time into this room.
Using the traditional method, the butcher covers the buffalo's eyes before striking a final blow, sending its spirit to the gods.
I don't think I've ever been to a place where people eat as much buffalo as here. That, of course, is because there's a large Hindu population here. In the Hindu religion, the cow is revered. But here, with the buffalo, it's game on.
Buffalo sacrifice happens throughout the year in the Newar's many religious ceremonies. At least 100 recipes use the animal's flesh, innards, brains, eyes, blood, and tongue. From the slaughterhouse, the buffalo meat and offcuts are sent to a community kitchen. Here, they'll turn into a lavish meal under the watch of these women. Salesh and I get to try the first bites.
That's the biggest plate of steak tartare I've ever seen in my life.
So this is called kachila. La is meat. Kachi is raw.
So I've had steak tartare many times. When I've had it, especially in Japan, they'll cut it with a knife, and here it's been processed just through a meat processor. You know, if there was any bacteria in there, it would just mix around and it would touch all the meat everywhere. I'm sure it's fine.
It is.
Ground buffalo meat is mixed with salt, garlic, cumin seeds, red chili powder, and fenugreek seeds. Finish this raw meat dish with a surge of hot turmeric oil. Plate and garnish with scallions.
want to see how big of a piece you take. I gotta gauge.
Me, I love it, so I'm gonna take a big piece.
Oh, it feels a bit warm.
Probably that's from the hot oil, but again, it's not cooked.
No, it feels gummy. Cheers.
Cheers.
Very soft texture, gummy, different from the usual steak tartare that I've had because it's been finely ground. So it's very soft, almost like a meat paste rather than chopped meat. But the flavors are very nice. I had something similar when I was in Istanbul, but literally half the meat was spices. But here it's 95% meat and just a bit of spices. I taste chili powder, I taste cumin, and it's kind of oily too, so it slides right down. In a moment, we're about to go meet the Kumari. Before we go there, I want to know what are the ground rules.
The Kumari tradition is believed to have started around 300 years ago by the last Malla king of Nepal.
When you get there, you're not supposed to turn back. So if you want to go out, you just have to take a step back.
Walk backwards.
Yeah. If you want to take a picture of her, and you cannot use your flash.
Okay, can I talk to her?
Yeah, but she would not reply.
Like most of the ladies in my life.
Today, there are only 10 specially qualified Kumaris in the Kathmandu Valley. Among them, this 8-year-old girl sitting on a throne inside this temple of Patan. Inside Patan's most visited Buddhist monastery, we find the Kumari carried out and placed on a throne by her father. As Dilesh and I get down on our knees, we spontaneously enter a puja, a ritual to worship the living goddess. Bell ringing and chanting are powerful tools in a puja used to dispel negative forces and invite the divine.
You sprinkle the rice 3 times on her feet.
In Hinduism, rice grains hold great spiritual significance.
So you have to offer the plate to the Kumari.
While flowers often mean good health, wealth, and prosperity in Hinduism, red cloth represents purity.
You can light this one.
Fire is lit using a ghee lamp, symbolizing the victory of knowledge over ignorance. The puja ends with the living goddess granting us her blessing with a tika placed on the forehead.
Hello?
Hello.
Thank you for having us here. Very exciting, interesting place to be for me. I have a lot of questions. How old was your daughter when she became a Kumari?
Mihira is the daughter of Niraj and Mohini.
That time she's 5 years.
She was elected as the Kumari of Patan City in 2018.
How does that process work to become a Kumari?
Government put the notice, Patan living goddess is out. Anybody interested, give your children.
Only girls from certain families can be Kumaris. Here, it has to be this specific caste, Vajracharyas.
The Kumari selection process is intense. Buddhist priests pick young girls with outstanding aesthetics. She mustn't have lost any teeth or shed a single drop of blood prior.
How did you feel when you found out your daughter was going to be the Kumari?
We are cultured, also we are priest. We are just not a living goddess, father and mother, we are the priest.
Niraj and Mohini had to give up their jobs and move to this temple. Now, their everyday life is devoted to taking care of the Kumari, performing various pujas in her honor and welcoming believers to this room.
She can't go outside.
Her day-to-day life is all in this house.
The living goddess only leaves her temple for religious festivals, at which time she'll travel in her parents' arms.
Why can she not walk outside?
As she's considered as god of blood, she's not supposed to lose any fluid. So if she's walk around, if she gets wounded, she loses blood.
So then at what age does she stop being a Kumari?
When she has her period.
Yeah.
Do you think a child becoming a goddess, being worshipped for many years, and then becoming kind of a normal person again, do you think that would be a difficult transition for a child, for a girl?
Perhaps only a former Kumari could answer such a question. Gladly, I'll be meeting one soon who will join us for a meal.
Were there times that you just wanted it to end, or didn't understand, or lost your patience?
In the meantime, we've got a village to feed.
Cooking's almost finished. Soon we're going to share everything with the community here. But there are a couple things that are in short supply, specifically the brain. A lot of meat, only a little bit of brain, like a bodybuilder.
The precious buffalo brain is boiled then portioned. A hot wok receives a generous helping of mustard oil, then turmeric. Then pieces of the brain descend into the golden liquid, frying to a crisp.
Oh, that's a big chunk. The inside looks a bit creamy and moist, and the outside is crisped up a little bit. Not a strong flavor, just tastes like a little bit of salt. Are there many seasonings on here?
Just salt and cumin powder.
But I like it. It's a fun preparation because it's just different than gooey brains, which is what I've had many times in Southeast Asia. This has some texture. It's like eating potato chips. It's not at all like potato chips. I don't know why I said that.
Next on the menu, stir-fried buffalo blood.
Do you know what you get when you mix the blood with the brain?
Not really.
A stroke.
Yeah.
The Noirs usually strain the blood using the bits that haven't coagulated. The remaining portion is called white blood. You may know it as plasma.
The red blood, it's more dry. This is why we don't prefer the red blood.
This is mixed with turmeric, ginger, and garlic. Pour the blood mixture into a wok of mustard oil and stir until it solidifies into a blood crumble.
Whoa. It almost tastes like ground beef or, maybe ground buffalo.
But then you also get the taste of ginger and garlic.
This is so strange, but with the cumin in here and with the fact that it tastes a little beefy, this would be great inside of a taco, which is not what I was expecting at all. When I saw a blood crumble, I thought it was gonna be much more irony. Not irony at all. Oh, that's so good. So we just came back from meeting the Kumari. This was an interesting, slightly bizarre experience for me. I've never seen anything like it, and I'm trying to understand it. For you, how old were you the first time you saw a Kumari?
I think I was like 5, 6. It was during a festival. She's there, she blesses the people.
The Kumaris hold a crucial spiritual role, not only in the Newari society, but all over Nepal. Even the Nepali royal members and country leaders come to receive blessings from the living goddess.
People have faith that if they worship her, things will get better. Sometimes instead of going to the hospitals, we go to do a puja, which is an offering, right? It is considered that she has powers to heal.
But sadly, she doesn't possess the power of agency. Can a girl so young possibly understand what's being asked of her? Or does such an obligation create long-term damage? To find out, I'm sitting down with Chanira, a former living goddess who reigned for 10 years.
Thank you for joining us. Are you hungry?
No.
Oh God, we have a feast. What do we do?
Festive Noir gatherings like this mean lining up in rows where folks patiently wait to be served.
I've heard that you don't really eat outside. Is that true?
Yeah.
Why is that?
Because I'm a former living goddess, and as a goddess, I had some strict rules and regulations, which does not allow me to share food with others. So I'm kind of used to with the same rituals.
Does that mean you've never gone to a restaurant?
No, I have gone to restaurants with my close friends, but not sharing food in one plate.
Do you see how she subtly lets me know we're not close friends?
No.
I'm just teasing. Can I eat this?
Yeah, please.
It's not gonna make you like jealous?
No.
Our entry point into this festive meal, buffalo meat. But instead of roasting with charcoal or a gas stove, tradition here means firing up a tangled pile of hay. Once finished, it's cut down to size. Then flavored with chili powder, turmeric powder, ginger, and garlic. Finally, a touch of mustard oil and scallions.
You want some too?
Yeah.
Because if I'm the only one eating, that's gonna get really awkward. I mean, I'll still do it.
The best piece.
Oh, that's really good. Similar flavors to other stuff we've had today, but a completely different cut of meat, full of protein. Not much fat, but great texture. It's spicy.
Yeah, the Newar people, they generally like spice with a lot of oily stuff. This is one of the very common and popular and one of the most delicious items in Newari food.
This is called beaten rice. What has this rice done to deserve to be beaten?
It must have done something bad in...
No, what I mean is, how do they make it?
Beaten rice. They're rice grains that are steamed, roasted, then pounded until they're flat.
Take a bit of beaten rice, put a piece of this, and then I'll...
Oh, that's nice. Like, all about the texture, right?
Yeah.
The flavor of the meat, but the crunchiness of the beaten rice. That's lovely. Do you know what this one is?
This one is called shapu micha. Sho means the bone marrow, and micha means a pocket.
This is a tedious but underrated Noir creation. Each leaf of buffalo tripe is stuffed with a bud of bone marrow and tied shut with a thread. The juicy meat pockets are deep fried in a beloved mix of mustard oil and turmeric powder.
Wow. It's very delicious, super, super rich. I mean, the stomach's already really fatty, but then a lot of fat comes out of it. I mean, bone marrow. I need beaten rice. It's so fascinating that they would take the time to use the stomach like a little pocket. And I've seen other cultures do that, where they'll take something, put it in the whole stomach. But here they've made little pockets out of different parts of the stomach, stuffed it with that bone marrow. Very intense. I like it a lot. Is this the type of food you had growing up?
Yes, being a Newari girl, you grow up with all these foods.
Chanira, now 27, was appointed as the living goddess of Bhutan starting at the age of 5.
Did you even know what that meant at that age?
No, I was very young at that age, so it was only later that I realized that I was a special person for the society.
Like all Kumaris, she spent her childhood confined within the temple.
It feels like a heavy duty, like an obligation, which for a young child might take some time for them to get used to. Were there times that you just wanted it to end, or didn't understand, or lost your patience?
Not really. Actually, I enjoyed what I was doing. You see, people, as in media, they tend to show that the Kumaris, they do not have a social life. Like, they are locked inside the four walls, they cannot show their emotions, they are deprived of education and all the basic rights. I think the Kumaris now, they are really, modern. Like, in the morning, they have their duty to fulfill as a ritual. But when she's out of that room, she can laugh, she can play. Also, she can get education if she wants to learn music, technology, everything is brought inside her house for her. So I think it was a life of a princess. I always say that. Everyone treats you as a goddess. So they do not, scold you. They kind of try to fulfill all your wishes.
Even your parents don't scold you?
No, they need to treat me as a goddess. I'm not as their daughter.
And then once it all ends, how do you adjust to that?
Adjusting was a bit difficult because for 10 years I had one kind of lifestyle, being a goddess. But the next day when you have to act as normal and you don't know what being normal is like, I had to start everything from beginning, like, walking in the streets, bargaining in a shop, everything. It was kind of hard in the first few months of transition, but there are also good parts that the Kumari life taught me. Being a Kumari, I was individually tutored by one private teacher who would focus all her attention on me. Because of that, I could excel in, my academics, and that has made me even more stronger to adjust in the modern world.
Do you think you had special parents, special teachers, or do you think you had a typical Kumari experience similar to the other Kumari girls?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, similar to other Kumari girls.
Would you like this tradition to go far into the future?
Kumari culture is very unique to our country. Like, she is the center of faith for so many people here. So yes, definitely.
Next, you'll discover two tribes residing in Nepal's lowlands, the Taru and the Musahar, also known as the rat-eating people. Both tribes take part in countryside cooking like you've never seen before.
This is an ancient cooking technique. The whole bird is inside that big lump of mud.
But sadly, they also used to be low-ranking members of South Asia's cruel Hindu caste system.
Literally, a higher caste person couldn't even touch a lower class person.
In 1951, that caste system was banned in Nepal. But a structure that existed for hundreds of years doesn't fade away overnight.
Do the feelings from the old caste system still exist now?
They feel still we are very lower caste, feeling like untouchables.
Today, I'm immersing myself in the traditional diet and lifestyle of those living deep in Nepal's countryside.
I've had many types of curry, mostly mutton or chicken. Definitely it's going to be my first time having a rat curry.
And it all starts here, with a breakfast prepared the Taru way. Residing deep inside the lowlands of Nepal, the Taru diet is shaped by the natural gifts offered by the sal forest, tall grasslands, and clay-rich swamps. Gifts like in the form of these snails. Toss snails freshly plucked from the river into a pan with mustard oil. Season with salt, turmeric powder, chili powder, cumin powder, ginger, and garlic. Add water and let it simmer into a curry. This is one part of today's balanced breakfast.
Namaste.
Yes.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Oh, you don't do the hands?
Namaste.
Okay, come on. I want the whole complete namaste.
Taru born Fuli will be my language bridge for today. Across from us, the king and queen of this castle, Shankar and Kuri.
Let's talk about all the food that's here right now. First of all, this is fish.
Fish, yeah.
Chadi fish, commonly found in Nepali cuisine, are marinated with turmeric powder and grilled until they're dried out.
This is more kind of calcium, is more vitamin. Good for like honeymoon. And they can sleep together, nice life.
All night.
All night?
3 and 4 times.
4 times? This guy is wild.
Next, shred the fish and flavor them with ground chili, garlic, cumin seeds, salt, chili powder, and mustard oil. But these petite protein pieces are not complete without a massive ball of carbs. Steamed sticky rice is shaped into a spherical glob, then it's wrapped inside banana leaves. Bake these ricey balls by stashing them under smoking hot ash by the fire.
Oh, that's gorgeous. So it's kind of like cooked up on the outside, like it's created a shell around the rice, and then it's nice and steamy on the inside. This thing looks amazing. So you soak it in that snail broth. He feeds his wife. I thought you were gonna feed me. Oh, that's good. The rice is incredible. Crunchy on the outside like sticky rice, and then just kind of normal rice on the inside. She's saying grab some fish.
Smoky fish.
Yeah, smoky, salty. And then the rice just soaks up this beautiful snaily broth with a ton of spices. It's so delicious. Is there snail meat?
Yeah, just have it like.
Wow, that was some serious suction. Okay, that was close. I almost died.
More like.
That one. These snails are delicious. I mainly have eaten snails in Southeast Asia or in Vietnam. So it's my first time having snails with like South Asian spices. It's spicy, I taste turmeric. It's like a real snail curry. This is very, very unique. How often are you eating this?
In the monsoon time, they get almost every 2-3 days. But now is winter and hard to find every moment.
Nepal's lowlands cover less than 20% of the entire country's land area. The Tharu people have been dwelling here for centuries.
Have you ever been to Kathmandu?
He been one time. So from Kathmandu, he is totally different.
Today, there are over 1.7 million Tharu in Nepal.
My understanding is the old caste system sometimes was classified according to the job the people had. Traditionally, what is the job of Tharu people?
Only agriculture, product rice, maize, mustard, and the wheat.
They keep for family. If they have enough, they can sell in the market.
Do you have any animals that you raise, that you sell?
Buffalo and the goat, sheep.
And pigeon.
Here, cattle are reserved for plowing and farm work. Because of religious reasons, many don't even take pork into consideration. So, birds like chickens, ducks, and pigeons are reared for meat. Shankar is treating me to a special pigeon recipe.
You don't need any tools, you don't need a grill, you don't need knives. They didn't even gut the birds.
But first, we need to get our hands on some birds.
Just because he has a bunch of birds in a giant bird house doesn't mean that they're easy to catch. They're gonna hear him climbing up, and I think it's pretty much impossible to catch an adult bird with your bare hands. He's looking in the little bird holes. This is a gigantic bird house. I've never seen a bird house this big. It's bigger than my childhood room. He's reaching his arm in. He's giving me a nod of approval. He's found something. Oh, they're like little teenager birds. Are these babies?
Yes, not flying. Just only 3-4 days are easy to fly.
Oh, they were so close. I'm so sorry. I've had pigeon many times before. I've never had this young of a pigeon. They never eat the adults, and I guess it's almost like the same idea as chicken eggs. Like, don't kill the chicken, because then you stop getting the chicken eggs. Don't take the adults, because then you stop eating their babies? Yeah.
No pot, no pan. Mud is the only vessel needed to cook up these pigeons. If that wasn't wild enough, these birds aren't gutted or even feathered. Instead, they're cooked whole. Just clump large globs of thick mud around the pigeon until it's covered completely. Place that pigeon over the fire and wait.
Right here, one of the coolest preparations for poultry I have ever seen. The whole bird is inside that big lump of mud, and they're cooking inside here right now, underneath all this. Oh, geez. Oh, it stopped cooking. It stopped cooking. Okay, it's back. These need to cook for about an hour in here. By the time we take them out, I think it's gonna be really hard. I'm really curious how this is gonna work because the internal organs, the guts are still in there. We're gonna see feathers, we're gonna see skin. What parts are we eating? What are we not eating? We're gonna find out real soon.
Using leaves in place of oven mitts, Shankar removes the clay egg from the fire, then heaves it on the ground in order to crack it open. Feathers are removed and thrown back into the fire pit. The meat is washed, chopped, and flavored with a mixture of garlic, chili, ginger, turmeric, mustard oil, and cumin seeds.
Namaste again.
Stay.
When is the last time that you ate this?
Recently haven't had it.
It seems like something you could only have for special occasions because it's a delicate process to get to this point. First, the pigeon must lay an egg. It has to sit on the egg. The egg must hatch. The pigeon has to go catch bugs and things for the bird to eat. The bird, after a series of days, grows up until the day it's about to fly and take off and be free. And then you grab it and cook it in some mud. Cheers. Oh yeah, it is very delicious.
Are you feeling spicy?
A little spicy.
Oh, yeah, take.
To accompany this dove-like delicacy, the Nepali version of vodka.
Yes, and spices gone.
True. Wow, the meat is so soft. It's really tender. When you look at that mud, how do you know when the bird is finished cooking?
When the mud coming is more like hard, it means the mud is cooked. It will definitely inside part of the cook too.
The pigeon breast is so good. It's a little morsel of meat, but very delicious. Oh, it's spicy. Hold on. It's nice. I want to change the topic a little bit. I've traveled a lot in South Asia, and I've been around a lot of Hindu communities, but I've never talked about the caste system.
The caste system is, or was, a cruel form of social stratification based largely on occupation and status. Nepal was influenced by the Hindu caste system that originated in India over 3,000 years ago, splitting society into four main groups: priests and teachers, aristocracy and warriors, merchants and landowners, and the peasants and servant class. You were born into your caste and there was no getting out of it. As farmers, the Taru people mostly come from the fourth or bottom caste.
For you, does the caste system still exist in the countryside?
Now, all are same, not in high, not in low. All are same.
Even though Nepal's caste system has been abolished for over 70 years, its remnants still linger in the form of surnames. I'll now meet the people who still carry the name Musahar.
Their name literally means the rat eaters or mouse eaters, right?
Yeah.
Joining them for a meal most Nepalis could not stomach.
It's a small piece of meat, no bones. You want to give it a try? From the Taru house, we've come here, a small community of Musahar people.
In a gesture of goodwill, I've gifted the village a pig that'll be cooked up using local recipes and shared with the community. With the swing of an axe, the pig is swiftly dispatched. Then it's doused in hot water and scraped clean using steel cups. The communal space becomes an outdoor kitchen as everyone contributes to the day's feast.
Here, it's a large group of people in kind of a small area. You can see already the houses, the living conditions, it's a lot different from where we just came. These houses were given to them by local communities, by foreign donors, by people trying to help them along.
Once clean, the pig is rubbed with turmeric powder and limestone. Then it's portioned for further cooking.
Here, there's a very different culture and a very different food. So today I'm buying a pig for this community so I can see how they prepare it. But they're also going to be providing meat with one of their local delicacies. You may have guessed already. Namaste.
Namaste.
It's a pleasure to be here in the Musahar village. Can you tell me again, what does the word Musahar mean?
Musa is means rat. Musahar is like people.
Talo jata.
So she say we are Musahar is a lower caste.
Do the feelings from the old caste system still exist now?
तल्लो जात कहके तर मनम लाग्छ है.
Laksai.
Yeah, they feel still we are very lower caste, feeling like untouchable.
Untouchables was the label applied to the Dalits, people who ranked below the lowest Hindu caste, people like the Musahars. Often impoverished and without nourishment, the Musahars resorted to whatever nutrient sources were available, including rodents.
Today we're gonna go out, we're gonna find some rats, and we're gonna bring them back here and hopefully cook them up and try them out. So right here you have a trap, so you bend the door back, you put it on a hinge. If the mouse or rat tries to go in to grab the food, boom, it releases the door and the rat is stuck inside.
Now, it's time to see the traps in action.
I'm here right now with Biljana.
Biljana, Maji, Musar.
Oh wow, he added more names. Right now he's setting a bunch of new traps and checking old traps, and we've just come upon a rat. Oh, this is a small little creature. You know, it's hard to tell if it's a mouse or a rat, but I think it might be closer to a mouse or an adolescent rat. Maybe that's a theme for the day. It was probably slightly distraught from having been in a cage. He still did eat a lot of the food. I'd probably do the same. So we're gonna go around and try to collect more. The more rats we can find, the more food we can make.
Curry is a typical Musahar preparation for rat meat. To start, the rats are grilled whole to burn off their hair.
Have you eaten rats?
Before I liked, but now I don't like.
Why don't you like it now?
Now once the people eat, they more like feel guilty. You know, someone, oh, you are eating like rat, filthy.
For me, eating rats is not strange. And actually, I've joined many different cultures or tribes who eat rat in the past. Today, whatever you make with the rat, I'm gonna be happy to try it. What about you?
I'm not eating rat.
Really?
Yeah.
Why not?
So because I don't like, I feel a little bit guilty too.
I just feel like it would go a long way to show there's no division. We're all the same. We eat their food, they eat our food.
Yeah, but somehow I you know, maybe if I eat, might be vomiting.
So you find it kind of disgusting?
Yeah, I feel, yeah.
The rodents are scraped clean, gutted, and chopped into smaller bits. The rat meat is tossed in a giant wok with onion, then flavored with salt, turmeric powder, garlic, ginger, cumin seeds, coriander, and chili paste. Finally, a bit of tomato.
I've had curry, many types of curry, mostly mutton or chicken. Definitely it's gonna be my first time having a rat curry. It looks delicious. The meat, rather small. Those rats were very tiny. So I'm not exactly sure how you get much out of this as far as sustenance, but it must be just enough protein. And hey, maybe you eat the bones too. I'm gonna find out soon.
While the rat curry is simmering away, the villagers offer me a special dish that comes in very limited quantities.
Here, this is a dish that comes from the pig. Actually, I'm told this is one of the most special body parts that comes from this type of pig. This creature, this hog, this swine has unusually large balls.
The giant testicles are cut into bite-sized cubes. The flavor profile is built using salt, garlic, ginger, chili paste, a cumin seed and coriander mix, then turmeric powder.
That's tasty. It's interesting eating these unusual foods made with South Asian spices because I've eaten so much Indian food in the past. But you know, in India, you're not gonna find that many unusual creatures or body parts. It's mostly like chicken, mutton, kind of standard fare. But here, pork testicles. Spicy taste of turmeric. Testicles are nice and meaty. There's like a hard outer shell of the testicle that they've removed, which is nice. I gotta say, not disappointing at all. It's quite delicious. Now that I've had my testicles, let's talk about the rats. Now, objectively, I don't necessarily see anything wrong with people eating rats. I live in Vietnam. In the Mekong Delta, people cut the rice, and when they do that, it reveals all these big, fat field rats. They collect the rats, and they eat them, just like they would eat squirrels or birds or any other type of creature. When I came here, it was my understanding that the Musahar people are people who used to eat rats and still eat rats today. But in my discussion earlier, it seems that that may not be the case. Eating rats here is certainly a custom that is looked down by many other groups in Nepal. It's seen as dirty, disgusting, but I think even more revealing, it's seen as the custom of the poor or the lower class. For that reason, I think there's a social pressure over time which has encouraged people here to stop doing that or to feel guilty about it or kind of ashamed of doing it. So current day, does every Musahar still eat rat? It looks like probably not, but today we definitely are.
Under the joining hands of the community, the pig has turned into a lavish feast. Villagers line up, sitting in long rows and patiently waiting to be served. Once everyone is fed, we sit down with two locals, Ganesh and Santa.
We've got pork curry, grilled pork, and of course some rat curry. Looks pretty good, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
First up, barbecue. The pork is cubed and marinated with salt, ginger, garlic, a cumin seed and coriander mix, chili paste, meat masala, and turmeric powder. Once it's soaked with flavor, the meat is skewered and grilled until the fat drips down and the meat becomes firm.
Very nice. The way they cooked it is very simple, straightforward, but that's all you need with pork. These spices, kind of like South Asian spices. I've had it with chicken and mutton so many times, but I've only had pork in South Asia a couple of times, and I love it. I love having like turmeric with that fatty meat and the skin. It just works so well together. It's very delicious.
Next on the menu, a combination I don't often see, pork and curry. mustard oil, and onions hit a hot wok. Then a heaping mass of pork, followed by salt, cumin paste, garlic, chili paste, meat masala, turmeric powder, green chilies, and tomatoes. Add water and let it simmer down into a shining gold gravy.
First of all, we've got this. We've got beaten rice. I'm mixing the beaten rice with the oil from that pork. I'm gonna try that out.
Like an oil gravy, little gravy.
Yeah, it's easier to hold on to. It gets some of the beaten rice very soggy, but it picks up pieces around it that are still crispy. So it's like soggy and crispy at the same time. The meat is super tender. Oh man, this is delicious. What do you think?
Yeah, it's very good.
I'm curious, did you guys grow up in this village?
Yeah, they are born here.
Have you ever eaten rat meat?
Around 15 days ago he had it.
Oh really?
He say I like very much.
You guys are in luck because we've got some rat right here. The rat is cut into many small pieces. There's a lot of bones. What is the easiest way to eat it?
The whole part of it and just
chew the bones too.
Yeah.
I got a soft piece here. There's some skin. There's some ribs. Interesting taste. It tastes different from any other rat I've had in my life. It's a little bit gamey. It's heavily spiced. Chewing the bones is interesting. Right here, this is a little rat liver. It's a small piece of meat, no bones. You want to give it a try?
No, thank you.
You're 100% certain?
Yeah.
All right, let's try it out. Definitely tastes like liver. I like it. I can't say I would eat a ton of rats, but the meat tastes good. It's just like a different type of curry. The weirdest part for me is the bones, because you're chewing through all these little bones. And sometimes they're not that little. What is your day-to-day food like?
Every day eat rice, and beside there's also some vegetables. Once a week, maybe meat. So it depends how much they have available in their family, the monies and all.
I understand why people would eat this. It's free. If I had the option of eat meat once a week or eat rat here and there, I would eat rat. It's available, it's out there, they have a recipe to make it taste good. I totally understand it. I'm curious, I know that life has been difficult for some Musahar people. For you guys, what are the biggest challenges your community faces out here?
They don't have land. They don't one day build their own, property.
And so now they just have this small property that many people must share.
Yeah.
How many people live here?
They say 100 people.
To this day, the Musahar remain the most marginalized community of Nepal's 125 castes. They tragically claim the lowest literacy rate in this country at around only 4%. Many work unskilled labor positions just to get them through to their next meal.
If they go into further study, but they need to support how they go into further study.
Despite the government's efforts to improve their living conditions, the remnants of the caste system still haunt the Musahar people as they continue to face discrimination and exclusion. To this day, some in Nepal still won't accept food or water served by a Musahar. This is Bujum, a mountain village home to the Gurung people. Here, we're on a hunt for Nepal's infamous mad honey. You'll witness this coveted honey's journey.
These hives are like nothing I've ever seen before.
A mystical, thick red syrup known to make people feel lightheaded, euphoric, or much, much worse.
And this is supposed to be the honey that makes you trip balls?
Yeah.
This is the same mind-twisting honey I tried feeding Joe Rogan on his podcast.
Are you willing to try it?
Yeah, I'll try it right now.
Don't try it right now.
The treasure we're after can be found here in the highlands of Nepal.
The bees are so intense. I'm not even the one who's gonna climb today and I'm scared.
From the intrepid hunters who risk their lives to gather it.
How many times have you gone up the ladder for the honey hunt?
To finally tasting this mind-altering sweet for myself.
I'm doing what the locals do. It cannot be demonetized. It's cultural. Good evening, gentlemen.
Namaste.
Namaste.
I'm very excited to be here. I'm excited to partake in this meal with you today. I have one question. Is there any honey in this?
No.
No.
Good. I think we should build up to that moment. I'm not quite ready for that yet. What do we have here?
We call shell roti.
Does shell mean something in particular?
Shell means
Round.
Round, okay.
This circular, lightly sweetened donut is one of the best known Gurung dishes. It starts with a batter of millet flour, ground yam, sugar, and water.
How is the gurung food different from food in other parts of Nepal?
It's a little bit different according to the climate and the tradition as well. Gurung, they use a shalodi by millet, and others mostly they're made by the rice.
Is it easier to grow millet here?
Yes.
Each ring is delicately made with care as our cook gently pours the batter into a bath of hot oil, letting them fry until they turn a dark shade of brown.
Oh, this is delicious. The roti is like crunchy and soft on the inside. Not too sweet, a bit neutral flavor. And what's this one?
Potato curry.
Potatoes are cooked with a chorus of spices and vegetables, fenugreek seeds, turmeric, jeera masala, salt, tomato, green chilies, and onions. Simmer to make it thick, dip, dab, and taste to know if it's ready.
You're mixing the roti into the sauce here. These are meant to be eaten together.
Yeah.
A little spicy.
Yeah, green chili.
Ooh, that is nice. It's good because it'll warm you up from the inside because the mountains are getting a little bit chilly now. I like this. How many people are in this village?
Around 500.
What's amazing about this place in Nepal is it takes so much effort to get out here. We were in a 4x4 vehicle traveling through crazy roads and pathways like Google Maps cannot get you here. And after hours of driving, we finally get here. The reason I'm here today is I'm on a mission to understand more about this thing called mad honey. I want to know why this is important to the Gurung people. I want to see how it works to actually procure, to get the honey. And then I'm curious to see the effects of the honey for myself. My understanding though is that the honey gets you high.
Yes.
Honey is like the original candy. It comes from nature, it's super sweet, it's sugary. Although kids love candy.
Yeah.
Are kids allowed to eat the honey here?
Children and everybody.
Really? But if they're being annoying, they won't go to sleep. Just give them some honey.
Yeah.
All right.
Right now, I'm sharing this table with Mutton, a honey hunter for hire. Then there's Mr. Ken Bahadur, the owner of the land on which the honey hives reside. Across from me, experienced tripper and fixer, Wandi.
Around this village, they have a community member to support for the people who take much, you know.
Like a buzz buddy.
Yeah.
Does the person who supports, do they also take it?
They take a little bit, but not much. But
fantastic. That's like being the sober driver, but I'll just have like 6 beers. How old were you when you first tried the mad honey?
25 years old there, that time, first time.
And then how did it make you feel?
Eat, then come and fall down.
You,
Yeah,
you couldn't walk?
Yeah.
For how long?
24 hours.
Oh, Jesus. How much did you eat?
Not need to too much. Little to eat.
Oh, Jesus Christ, what am I doing? I'm gonna try the honey.
yeah.
Is this a mistake?
Not only are the honey's effects unpredictable, the process of gathering the honey is laborious and potentially life-threatening, with hunters suspended from high cliffs on homemade rope ladders, swaying in a swarming cloud of pissed-off bees. So, why do any of this? Tomorrow morning, I hope to find out.
This morning we woke up at 5 a.m. Today is going to be a very long day. It took 1 hour just to get to the walking point, and now we are walking about an hour to a waterfall. Next to the waterfall, about 12 beehives. These beehives are full of the biggest bees in the world, and they're very cantankerous. That means they get pissed off easily. I don't know if they brought a bee suit in my size. I just assumed everything's going to work out. I definitely should have asked about that.
Surrounded by lush forests, rolling hills, and snow-capped mountains towering up to 5,000 plus feet. Over time, the Gurung people have learned to accept the gifts and deal with the difficulties that this land offers. Aside from the centuries-old techniques of collecting precious liquid gold from the Himalayan cliffs, they build their homes with stones and earth, and carve fields into mountainsides to grow crops. They have their own language, food, culture, and distinctive customs that still survive to this day. A prayer is spoken, and bits of uncooked rice are offered to a higher power.
What you just witnessed now is called the puja. It's like a ritual or a prayer that they have to do before they slaughter the animal or before they proceed with the honey collecting. What's interesting is that it was a pretty treacherous hike, but they won't let anyone drink water until the puja is finished. Now that it's finished, we can have a sip and the slaughter can begin.
This ritual is meant to satisfy the gods, to express gratitude and to seek blessings before undertaking the dangerous task ahead. Later, the goat will be cooked and eaten by all, but for now, we've got work to do.
Do you think the gods are happy now? Yeah?
Yes.
Can you point out where the honey is right now? Oh, shit. That's really high. I'm not even the one who's gonna climb today and I'm scared. How many times have you gone up the ladder for the honey hunt?
30 years.
You never fell down?
No.
Just never?
No.
All right. I know they have their own gear. They use ladders, right?
Yeah.
Are the ladders they built themselves?
Yeah.
How much weight are they meant to hold?
Maximum 3 people.
Are they tied on in any way or they're just holding on?
Between the bell and the rope, they can do safety.
So they're connected to the ladder?
Yep.
I'm so curious about the process. I want to get into logistically how this works. What's going to happen first?
They make a smoke. And then after the bee are come out from the hives, and then they're gonna start the cut.
How pissed off do the bees get?
Very angry.
We've got our caps on. I should have put on a full body suit, but I wanted to look cool. So we have just ascended to the base of the peak. From here, it gets pretty vertical pretty quickly. Already a team of people has gone all the way to the top and they're sending down ropes. You can see this one right here, right now coming down. Once the ropes are all the way down, they can connect the ladders and bring the ladders all the way up. Then we can climb from the bottom. In the meantime, they're getting ready to set up the smoke. The smoke is rising right now, and these bees, in moments, are gonna be completely pissed. These hives are like nothing I've ever seen before. They look alive. You can see the bees completely covering the hive, moving like doing the wave in a stadium at a football game. They are soon gonna be leaving the hive, and they're gonna be coming to hang out with us.
As soon as the smoke from smoldering grass envelops the cliff, it's all-out chaos. The silence of morning is broken by embattled buzzing of bees. Bees by the thousands, willing to do anything to protect their honey. Over time, the smoke disables the bees' alarm pheromones. Disoriented, the bees' instincts tell them to abandon the hive. No gloves, no shoes, dangling from a rope ladder, defying desperate swarms. Now, the real honey hunter's work begins.
Previously, I assumed this was super dangerous. At the beginning of today, I thought, oh, maybe it's less dangerous. And as I'm watching it now, I'm back to, no, this is very dangerous. They told me when I interviewed them earlier, they're like, yeah, we do tie in, but they don't tie in until they get all the way up there. They climb the ladder completely. When they're where they want to be, then they tie in. Before that, if they slip, if they fall, it's game over. The bees have calmed down enough where I don't need to wear the bee hat right now, but take a look upside. These guys are on the ladder. They don't climb with the tools. They pull them up and then they have them. And they have usually 2 tools at a time. They're actually using a rope system, poking it through the hive on 2 places so they can actually lower down the hive. After they've punctured the hive, then they use these super long tools to cut it down. Previously, when I was flying the drone, I must have chopped 1,000 bees in half. I didn't do it on purpose. It was a suicide mission. They just went for the drone, they saw it as a threat, and then when I landed it, it was full of bee goop. It's like nothing I've ever seen before. You can see the honey's coming down right now. Somebody from the top is helping to suspend it. Oh, take a look. It's coming by us right now. This still has like another 50 feet to go. We've got a guy here mid-mountain helping to deflect it as it goes down. So hopefully it doesn't break. And then people down below are gonna help to catch it. Right now they're bringing down 2 different types of hives. Some don't have as much honey, or some actually have no honey, but they have eggs. They have the pupa of the bee inside. Sometimes that happens. They are bringing down the really juicy honey-filled hive right now. This one is full of honey and honeycomb and thousands of bees. Take a look in here. This honeycomb looks so odd, bizarre, and stretched out. And I think it's because of gravity pulling on it, because of how they built it into the mountainside. They're gonna dump it into this pot right here, and then they send the basket back up.
Today there are 12 hives to collect. Each time the hunters move laterally to a new honeycomb, they must descend completely, relocate the ladder, and make the climb once more. Descending from the top of the cliff is a terrifying prospect, but climbing the ladder from the bottom, well, that seems a lot more manageable. Maybe this task isn't so hard after all.
There we go. Okay, oh God, oh God. Oh, why is it spin? There's so much smoke in the air. I can understand why the bees don't like it. How do people do this? I'm upside down.
Successfully making it up the ladder is a delicate play between strength, balance, and agility. Though tiring, Mutton and his team seem to move with ease as they make their way toward edible gold mines of the world's most sought-after honey, knowing full well one misstep could be their last.
For all the work that's been done today, collecting the honey, taking stings to the eyeball. This is the treat right here. They've just broken off a piece of this fresh honeycomb. Oh, it smells super sweet. When I squeeze it, you can just see the honey pouring out of these cells. It looks incredible. I'm gonna give it a little bit of a taste, but just a little bit of a taste because this is mad honey. Whoa, look at that. That is the honey, that is the wax, everything together. You just take it all, chew it, and then spit out the wax. Oh, wow. There's so much honey. I hope I don't regret this. I am on the side of a mountain. I'm not at all in a safe space at this moment.
It's my first taste of this mystical honey, and there seems to be no discernible effect. So far, it's just...
It's sweet, it's delicious, it pops. Hey, is that good? Look at this guy. I think he just finished his plate. He's ready for seconds.
The strength of the mad honey here differs in intensity depending on the region and the season, ranging from typical honey with no effect to knock you on your ass for 24 hours level of power. The more red and less viscous the honey, the more potent its effects. Luckily, my guide 1D has brought backup, the most powerful he could find. And for better or worse, I'll be trying it soon, right after we wrap up here. As soon as the first batch of honey descends from the cliffs, processing begins at the mountain's base. To extract the honey, the men squeeze chunks of honeycomb, releasing its sweet syrup and separating it from the wax. Finally, it's filtered through a cloth, and the result, this pure golden liquid, is ready for distribution.
Hey,
Yes.
the goat is being prepared right now. Nothing's going to waste. So, where'd you get this? This is the real deal, most intense, blow your brains out your feet honey. You know that because it's red.
Yes.
I'm doing what the locals do. This is responsible, it cannot be demonetized. It's cultural. How do they measure the intensity of the honey? Do they just look at the color?
They do look on the color, and also they take a tiny bit beginning.
Right, I don't want to do too much. Is that good?
That's good, yeah.
I'm so scared. That guy's story yesterday, he told us he ate the honey, he couldn't walk for 24 hours.
Yeah.
We have an hour hike back to our vehicle.
Yeah.
What I'm doing right now is a terrible idea, but it's the only way to fit this into our shooting schedule.
Let's try it then.
All right.
You feel something different? Taste?
It tastes different than regular honey, for sure.
Buzz or not?
Yeah, oh no. I feel it immediately. Holy shit. I feel numb here.
Yeah.
Right away, I feel light. I feel like my throat is numb.
Trick is not to drink water. If you drink water, you get more high.
I don't want to get more high. I want to go back to normal.
The psychoactive effects of this honey actually come from this, rhododendrons. This flowering plant contains a group of neurotoxic compounds called grayanotoxins, which the bees ingest and which eventually make their way into the honey. Low doses cause your heart rate and blood pressure to drop. You may feel slight euphoria and lightheadedness, much as I feel right now. But higher doses. It's said that high doses can cause hallucinations and, in some rare cases, death.
Can I taste?
Yeah, please. The taste is very interesting because it's more watery and less sticky than regular honey. How do you feel?
Good. Don't be nervous. Nervous make you more high. Sometimes
Okay.
just relax.
feel better. I cannot believe that just that little bit did something to me. I feel pretty cool. I think we should finish dinner and get some food in our belly.
Today's meal is prepared with goat cooked 3 ways. First, goat barbecue. The meat is first marinated with salt, chili powder, masala, and cumin powder. Skewer and grill. The meat is served with rice and fried jungle mushrooms. Just grab a plate, pull up a rock, and eat.
Boom! Sir?
Food.
Gentlemen, I ate some of the honey. How do you feel?
I feel good and a little bit see the effect.
And what is the effect like?
A little bit calm and I can hear so clear for everything.
Oh, that's a good point. I feel so calm right now. Yeah. I don't know if the effects are going to continue, but what I do know is we got all this food right here. All right, I'm going to try out some of this grilled goat. How often are you collecting honey?
Approximately around 15 times a year.
15 times a year?
Yeah.
Every time you do it, are you slaughtering an animal?
He say most of the time they offer for the goat and sheep.
Okay. Delicious. Very simple preparation, just some nice marination, salty, savory. It's got a great crunch on it. I think that's pretty darn good. Yeah.
Next, the goat curry. Fry the meat in oil, then spice it up with turmeric powder, chili powder, cumin powder, and salt. Simmer until it cooks through. These are fried goat organs, with all the offcuts tossed in a pan and sauteed in an abundance of gurung spices.
Right here, we have some of the curry. We have some organs mixed in with the rice. This is delicious. This is such brutal work. I feel tired, and I didn't climb any ladders. What you guys do is so impressive. When you're finished, do you feel exhausted? Are you tired?
It's okay.
You're like a superhero. When is the last time that you yourself tried some mad honey?
The most latest is like he had 10 years back, he tried a little bit, and then he didn't feel good and he stopped it.
This is the part of mad honey that blows my mind, is that it started here in Nepal and people around the world became aware of it and it became an industry exported to people outside of Nepal. Then I come here where it's readily available. It's probably cheaper for people here to buy it, but no one's doing it. And if they've done it, they've had some terrible experience. So my point is, it's an industry for people. It's a crop, it's a product, it's something they can collect, gather, and then sell.
With a limited supply and ever-increasing demand, Nepal's mad honey is now among the most expensive in the world, selling for $60 to $80 a pound.
Is there any way for people to increase the amount of product?
No problem.
What is it about the honey that's so valuable, that people want so badly?
Many tourism, Korean.
Really? The Koreans?
Some believe it offers medicinal health benefits.
People say it cures some health, but not daily use, but once a year.
While some just want to see if it's as powerful as they say.
I talked to this guy, he was the one who owned the cliff where the honey is. I said, can you walk me through the experience? He said, I took a lot and I couldn't walk for 24 hours. I think we should try it out. And maybe we start shit.
Sounds terrible.
No, but if you do too much, it's shit.
Are you sure?
We gotta find out, Joe.
Elevation in Nepal varies from about 300 feet above sea level to the highest point on Earth, coming in at about 29,000 feet. Pisong village sits at an elevation of over 10,000. This is a small village in the mountains, far, far from anywhere else in Nepal. It took literally 8 hours of rocky roads to get here. For newcomers, the lack of oxygen makes it hard to breathe and even harder to sleep. In winter, it's cold, windy, and inhospitable. But one animal absolutely thrives in these conditions.
What up? What's up? Why did we do this so close to the yaks?
I'm on a mission to experience the unique cuisine in a village so remote they only got roads a few years ago. Some of what's cooked up in home kitchens here is delicious. And some will make you question why you made the painfully long trip out here.
Are you gonna drink this whole thing?
We're gonna do that.
And all of it starts here.
Good morning. Can I tell you something? I slept in this jacket last night. My room, no heat.
It's normal, sir. It's very cold.
This is Dorje. He was born and raised in the hectic capital of Kathmandu, but since he's moved to and settled here in Pisong. Today, he'll show me what life is like at over 10,000 feet in the Himalayas.
I want to understand this place. This place is, from what I can see, slightly inhospitable.
Yes, sir.
But yet, a large community of people choose to live here. Today, I'm going to be hanging out with you and experiencing the food and food culture here. Starting with the yak.
The yaks don't just tolerate these conditions, they're built for it. Their thick coat guards against extreme cold. Their lungs, significantly larger than that of an ox, keep them comfortably oxygenated at this altitude. Most impressive of all, they can survive without food for 7 months. This herd in particular is watched over by Mr. Sonam.
What are your responsibilities as a shepherd?
To take care of yak herd and milk it and create butter out of it.
Most of the country of Nepal is Hindu, but here, the Gurung people follow a different faith.
We follow Buddhism.
You're not allowed to kill anything, even bugs, right?
Yes, sir.
So, how does this work?
We don't kill, but we still consume meat items.
So who kills?
There are some people who does that kind of work, but we are not directly killing it.
So those people are not Buddhist, right?
Not Buddhist.
So you essentially hire like a yak hitman.
Yeah, yes, sir, like a hitman.
I love this workaround. This is the kind of creativity that I really like to see.
Most cattle graze on grass or get fed grain, but yaks here feed on a variety of natural vegetation, including special Himalayan herbs. As a result, it's said that yak meat here is highly nutritious, but perhaps nothing is more nutrient-rich than what we're about to experience next.
So I've had blood before, but like a sip. Are you gonna drink this whole thing?
We're gonna do that.
Once the animal's chest plate is removed, a villager reaches his arm inside its body to sever a vein. After the blood pools, it's collected and mixed with a pinch of salt.
Oh yeah, it's been sitting a little too long. These are the perils of doing a food review show. You can't eat it right away, and that's kind of a problem when you're drinking blood.
Cheers, sir.
Cheers.
How's it?
Can I say, I have a friend, his name is Mark Weens. He said he loves how blood tastes. He says it's so milky. I can't say I agree. It's intense. It's hard to get the idea out of my mind that I'm just drinking literal blood. The taste itself isn't bad. There's a little bit of iron flavor on the back end. It's not gamey or anything. What are your honest thoughts?
It's healthy.
It's healthy?
Yes.
Is it really though?
It has many medical benefits. It increases your immune system. It helps a person who are suffering from asthma.
Okay, what about erectile dysfunction?
Yeah, it does help with that too.
Nice. Not that I need that, but maybe down the road.
Okay, sir.
Also, I need that. They are making work of that yak behind us. They're going to be butchering the whole thing. It's still morning time, and we're going to be making several dishes from this creature.
Breaking down a yak of this size can take hours. The butchers work carefully to cut and carve with precision, as each section of the animal can be utilized. The organs are removed and set aside, as most will be eaten today. But the meat, a large portion of the meat will be preserved, as locals brace for the winter ahead. Long before refrigerators or freezers, people here developed a method of preservation that's still used today, cleverly drying the meat as it hangs over the warm, radiant hearth. Once dry, the meat can last for months. Right now, it'll be used to add flavor and a bit of protein to our breakfast.
This looks incredible. Is this kind of a normal breakfast?
Yeah, this is aloo fingsha.
This is Menku and this is Karma, a wife and husband team who run a homestay here in Pisong, a place they've called home since birth. Right now, Menku is cooking a Tibetan-inspired noodle dish. Stir-fried dried yak meat with garlic, onion, and cumin powder. Add potatoes and salt. With the addition of water, this becomes a Highland curry. The final ingredient, rice noodles.
Oh, fantastic.
We can tear it, dip it.
Oh my gosh, I love this texture.
To accompany our dried yak curry, we have the momo, though it's not in its usual form. Instead of stuffing the momo with chicken or buffalo,
nothing inside.
Interesting strategy.
Mix wheat flour with baking powder and water.
I like chicken, buffalo, but maybe I'll like nothing as well.
After folding it into the signature dumpling shape, it's steamed until it cooks through.
It's really delicious and like strong meat flavor. This is like a Vietnamese banh bao outside, and then I'm gonna try this dried yak. It's good. It's got some texture to it. You need strong teeth. I think old people could not eat this, right? It's like a yak jerky. Interesting. You have very tough texture, but lots and lots of flavor. I'm so curious about your story because you live here now, but you grew up in Kathmandu.
Dorje has lived in Pisang for 11 years. After schooling in Kathmandu, he came here to care for the land he'd inherited from his parents.
What made you want to go from the biggest metropolis in Nepal here to a village that has not even 500 people?
It's the vibe, peacefulness. It has more beautiful environment than a city area. I can't compare Kathmandu with Pisang. I prefer Pisang.
But Pisang can also be harsh and unforgiving. For one, it's barely accessible. 9 years ago, there were no roads at all.
When was the first time you came here? How old were you?
My mom and dad brought me here when I was 1.5 years old. When I was 19, there was no roadways. I had to walk from Besisar to get to my village. Normally, local people take around maybe 5 days, but for me, I took around 13 days.
These days, a 13-day trek has been reduced to a rocky 8-hour drive from the nearest city, which is good news here because sub-zero temperatures and a lack of resources require residents to import even basic necessities like rice, sugar, salt, and oil.
Before they had roads here, how did you get products that you needed?
Mule.
So somebody would walk it from a different city either on a mule or on their back. I'm very fascinated with the community here. So part of today is just about hanging out with you guys, learning more about your food and the lifestyle here. Breakfast, this was amazing, tastes incredible. From here, we have a yak to cook.
Today, this yak will be transformed into 4 main dishes, cooked up by some of the villagers and served to this community. Time to get to work. First, the blood sausage. Here, it starts with liver, kidney, stomach, fat, blood, and meat, all the yak's most nutrient-dense organs. After seasoning with salt and garlic, this chunky mixture is stuffed into the yak's intestines. Then it's boiled until it cooks through. The sausage, known locally as gyuma, can be cooked like this, but there's also a version that involves no cooking at all.
Oh, I know what it smells like. It smells like a slaughterhouse.
The uncooked gyuma is hung above the stove to dry, just like the dried yak meat we tried earlier. Every home in the village has a similar setup, utilizing heat from daily cooking to also dry and preserve meat.
You told me before that you could not have refrigerators here until they built the roads. So before they built the roads, this is the best way to save the meat.
And after 15 days of drying,
this is really hard. You could beat your husband with this. Maybe not. There's some really fatty pieces, but it tastes better than the smell. How are you? You okay? Do you need a Diet Coke?
No.
It's so interesting because so much food I've had in Nepal has just a lot of spices in general so far, but this is nice. It just tastes like the animal. Very simple, but it's good. My favorite part about this village is that these days you have refrigerators, you have some more modern conveniences, but the tradition is the tradition. You still keep doing this, you still keep preparing meat the old way. I love it.
Cooking is underway, from fried tripe to a massive mountain of yak curry. Meanwhile, Karma is preparing his own version of a Himalayan tartar, meaning plenty of raw yak meat.
I feel like every time I hang out with you, there's raw blood involved. All that's in here, stomach and soft meat. Yeah. Fantastic. So for those of you following along at home, he starts with salt.
Tasting powder?
Tasting powder. MSG? They call MSG tasting powder. I love it.
This chili powder.
And then this is what brings it all together. Raw blood. It's the glue, it's the bonding agent, it's the alcohol at the party. All right, come on, tasting powder, here we go. A bit rare, really chewy. The stomach has a strong flavor, but the meat's delicious, it's soft, so they work well together. For me, this feels like a village drinking food. Are you supposed to eat this with alcohol?
Yeah.
Yeah. I gotta say, I thought it would be way more gamey and off-putting, but I like the spices, the tasting powder is giving it a little bit of oomph. It's nice. This is fantastic. Soon, we're gonna share this with everybody. We have many dishes to come, and we're all gonna eat together. Are you hungry?
Yeah.
Are you ready to party? Okay. You definitely seem ready.
Cooking for our final meal is nearing completion, and we've got plenty of this. Himalayan-style yak curry, a hearty combination of yak meat, tomato, masala, and other curry spices, braised for hours to allow the protein to tenderize. As villagers dish up, most have their eyes on the curry. Finally, it's time for everyone to enjoy together.
Fantastic. We've done it. Well, I didn't do that much.
No, it's all right, sir.
Thank you. Everybody's enjoying. We've got curry. We have a big vat of sausage here, which we'll get to soon. And then we have a noodle dish. I've never seen noodles like this.
It's kind of local pasta.
A wheat-based noodle dough is carefully kneaded until one consistent doughy blob is formed. Now, instead of tediously shaping and pulling long noodle strands, small thumb-sized bits of dough are ripped away, creating bite-sized shapes. Now for the soup. Stir-fry fresh yak meat on high heat with onion. Add potatoes, carrots, and salt. Then add water and let the soup simmer. After some time, she adds in noodles, garlic, and soy sauce.
I'm gonna try the meat first. Well, that's nice. This meat is so tender and soft, and the sauce that's on here is almost like a gravy. All I hear is the sounds of chewing. I like it. Everyone's getting down. Let me try these noodles. No joke, this is amazing. I love it. It reminds me a little bit of the momo from today, just in how it's very doughy, very chewy, incredible texture, very nice, savory flavors. So this is some of that tripe.
Yak tripe, or stomach, is first boiled to cook it through and to dial down the gamey flavors. Next is chopped into small squares. Then stir-fried with salt and chopped garlic.
Wow. Oh, it's interesting. I like this. So different from anything we've had today. Really chewy, like kind of rubbery. Dense meat, but kind of fun to chew on. Lots of flavor and a little bit gamey, but gamey in a fun way. Gamey like Mattel. Finally, we have the sausage. Oh, that is beautiful.
It's like a snake.
I like, there's no like sausage links every 6 inches. It's just like a meter long. It's almost irresponsible. Fantastic. So we have the sausage here. You've just cut it up. It doesn't even look that minced. It's like big chunks of organs, which I like. Cheers.
Cheers, sir.
A little gamey. I like the big coarse chunks of meat inside. It tastes like a lot of the flavor has boiled out of it. And so I wonder, do you use this broth?
No, no.
Sometimes when you boil meat like that for a long time, the flavors kind of boil out into the broth. Oh, no, not the case. That's also not very flavorful. I wouldn't drink that either. All right, you guys know what you're doing. This has a lot of character. It's very good. I like everything. My favorite, this right here. These noodles are incredible. Present day, a lot of this village now caters to tourists who come here to do trekking and stuff like that. About what percentage of this village now is here to cater to tourists?
About like 40%.
And when did that begin? Did that begin even before the Rhodes were here?
Yes, sir.
When did the tourism really start to pick up here?
20 years ago, before the village couldn't provide proper services like facilities like hot shower or proper toilet. So facility has upgraded a lot.
Has the culture here changed a lot? Because it feels like this place went from pure agriculture to now halfway just serving other people who are coming here.
No, it hasn't affected heritage and culture. We've been following the culture, tradition that was given by our ancestors up till now. There's a saying in Nepali, Janmabhumi. That means birthplace. My birthplace is in Kathmandu, right? But my Karmabhumi means my working place happened here in my ancestors' place.
And you'll retire here and stay here?
Yes, sir.
Fantastic. Guys, thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome, sir.
Arms.
Why can she not walk out